if you go to any church today, this way, so that people will see. Yeah. So if you go to any church today and say, okay, you are a church member. Let's say you are the church member. Say, what do you prefer? Pick one. Would you prefer miracle or process? I think 90% of people in churches today, they will say, of course, miracle. And we think that is good. And we think that is the right choice. But that is deception. That is deception. That is deception. That is wrong. And I want to show you today why processes are more valuable than miracles. Processes are more valuable than miracles. Processes are more valuable than miracles. Processes are more valuable than miracles, guys. Processes are more valuable than miracles. Don't get me wrong. Miracles are from God. We love miracles. We thank God for miracles. God is a miracle worker. And I am a miracle worker. And every Christian is supposed to be a miracle worker. But it is not enough. And it is we don't worship miracles. We are not supposed to live by miracles. We are actually supposed to live by principles and procedures. We are supposed to live by process, procedures, and principles. 3 P's: process, procedures, and principles. We are supposed to live by principles, process, procedures, rather than by miracles. And I'm going to show you why process is more significant, is more relevant, is much more preferable to miracles. Why is process more important than miracles? Thank you. People are telling me it's not 90% or 80% that will prefer miracles, but 99%. And let's fix this. Let's think about it, okay? I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to try my best to go as slowly as I could, so that so that you will be able to catch up with me, okay? With my reasoning. Now, when we talk about processes, what are we talking about? When we talk about procedures, processes, what are we talking about? The reason why we talk about processes and procedures, of course, we are talking about things that make people to want to run away from processes and procedures. Because when we talk about processes and procedures, we are talking about difficulties. When you talk about processes, you talk about, we want to write this down. When you talk about processes, we are talking about rules, number one. We're talking about rules and laws. And people don't like to observe rules and laws. People don't like to observe protocols. People don't like to observe rules and laws. So when you can do something without rules and laws, people prefer it. So that is one of the reasons why people don't like procedures and processes. Now, but why is it though that rules and laws are more important than the absence of rule and law? Okay, let's start with that. I'm going to give you a lot of things that we are talking about when we talk about processes. So let's say, okay, one of the main important factor in processes is that all processes and all procedures have instructions, rules, and laws. Instructions, rules, and laws. Now, so why is it that we say processes, therefore, are more important than miracles? Because when you talk about miracles, you don't necessarily expect to see laws or rules or procedure, or instructions. You just want to go, do what you need to do, give them, sow your offering or receive your prayers and get the anointing, and you expect your miracle. You just get the miracle. In miracles, it is understood by most people that when they receive a miracle, they don't need to do anything much. So in miracles, you don't need to do too much things. You just need to go and sow the seed or whatever the man of God tells you to do. You just go and show up, and then the miracle, you expect the miracle to just come without you doing anything. But why is it that when you need to obey instructions, when you need to obey rules and laws, that is actually better than when you don't need to obey some rules and instructions, than when you don't need to observe some principles, some instructions and laws. Let's say, for example, let's take societies where there are rules, and let's take societies where there are no rules, where there are no laws. For example, can you imagine if you are living in England? Let's imagine London. Can you imagine that you come to London and there are no instructions on the walls and in the streets, no signboards, no street addresses in London? Come to London, no street addresses, no instructions, no rules, no street addresses, no street lights, because street lights are rules, street lights are laws, street lights are instructions. You have the red, you have the yellow, you have the green. Those are instructions. So can you imagine yourself landing in London, in a city of 8 million or so people, and there, no street light, no street signs, no names of the streets, no numbers in the houses, you would think, and no driving instructions. No driving instructions. You will think you are in Lagos. You will not believe it. You will not believe it. You will think you are in a jungle. You will not believe it. You will not believe it, I tell you. You will think you are in Lagos will look like heaven compared to London. So what does that say? You will think you are not in Europe. You will think you are not in a developed country. Now, that right there is an answer to why there is such a dichotomy and difference between the developed nations and the underdeveloped nations or developing nations. So I just told you one thing. If that one thing is removed from the developed world, if instructions, rules, laws, and order are removed from the developed nations, from New York, for example, or from Washington, D.C., for example, if only one thing is removed, procedures, which includes laws, rules, principles, instructions, if those only one thing is removed, see the chaos, see the catastrophe, see you will run away from England, you will run away from London, you will run away from New York, you will run away from those places, and you will think you are back in Lagos. So that means the only difference right now between the developed nations and the underdeveloped nations is the strong presence of instructions, is the strong presence of procedures. Strong presence of the procedures. Strong presence of procedures. So if only that one thing is removed from developed countries, you will get the chaos, the kind of chaos the same kind of chaos that you have in Lagos, that you have in the underdeveloped nations of this world. You will get them in those same countries. Why? Just because of one thing: no procedures. But people in Africa would rather go to churches, they would rather go to camp meetings, they would rather go to the mountains, they would rather go and fast and pray for 10 days, 20 days, 40 days, 2 weeks, 100 days. They would rather go and be praying instead of going to develop structures, to develop processes. Instead of going to devote themselves to how to find instructions, processes to the problem of transportation, instead of going to develop procedures and processes that will be needed for the transportation system of the land, we will be going to churches to pray that God should come and fix Nigeria. Oh my God! How our people are so blinded by religiosity, by religious foolishness. We are just being destroyed for lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge is killing us. We are dying. Instead of us to go and do something about the challenges of our economy, about the challenges of our nation, we are going to spend months and months in prayer houses, in churches, instead of us to just go, sit down and work our processes. We are going to look for miracles. Jesus. And when someone like me talk about this, they think I'm crazy. And they think I've lost the Lord. They think I'm backsliding. They think I'm the one who has missed it. If you go to my country today, you will find so many millions of people, not just thousands of people. Millions of people will be fasting and praying. They will be going from one prayer house to the other. They are jamming. They are all over some mountains and some camps, and they are there in their millions. They are praying that God should come and fix the country. They are praying that God should come and reduce the economic chaos. They are praying that God should bring a solution to the recession. Can you imagine if all these people will go to work on one thing only, work on processes, on procedures, on system of order, on system of getting order, instructions, processes put in everything. Can you imagine if we come up with procedures and processes for our transport system? Can you imagine if we come up with processes and procedures for our markets that are so chaotic, noise everywhere? Can you imagine if we come up with some processes and procedures for those? Can you imagine how much progress we immediately experience? Can you imagine if we come up with processes and instructions? If 1 million people go to work, we will get answer. Hello everybody, DSA here. I would like us to spread this word together. Let the gospel of the kingdom conquer the world. We only need you to help us take 5 simple steps. What are these steps? 1, go ahead and like the video, please, if you have not yet done that. Number 2, we need you to subscribe to this channel. Have you yet subscribed? You not yet done it? Go do it now. Number 3, you need to press and click on that bell. You see the bell there? That will give you notification of every video that we do. Then the next thing you need to do, write your comments. Let's know what you think, good or bad. And then of course you have other platforms like Instagram, like Facebook. Share this video on your other platforms. All right, let's win the world for Christ. Peace.